Hello Captains, Kato Genesis here with another guide to Starfield. And this time we're going after the set of magazines known as Peak Performance. And just like previous sets that have multiple different stat boosting effects, these ones are granted by how many magazines you have, not which ones. So once you picked up your first copy of any Peak Performance, it will permanently increase the carrying capacity you have by 5 kilograms. After you have 2 of these magazines, permanently add 5% melee critical damage. After picking up 3 of these, permanently adds 5% to unarmed damage. After a 4th is picked up, Pharmaceuticals are permanently 2% less addictive. And then after you've picked up 5 Peak Performance magazines, basic and advanced physical skills are permanently unlocked 2% faster on top of any other bonuses. And before we go into this, know that a couple of these are in locations locked behind quests, but fairly early in those quest lines. One in a procedural point of interest that can be forced, and of course the 2 we'll go over first that are in unique locations with seemingly no other requirements besides tolerance for loading screens. The first Peak Performance we're after is Peak Performance 04. And this one is inside of Sonny DeFalco's mansion on Maheo 1 in the Maheo system. On the star map, this is occupying the same space as the Cheyenne system. And once you've selected Maheo 1, there should be a marker for an undiscovered location here. And upon selecting it and landing, you will then discover that this is the private getaway of one Sonny DeFalco. There's a lot for you to discover here, but we'll mainly just stick to the direct route to the magazine, which is in Sonny DeFalco's room. So once you have entered the front door and moved through the art decorated hallway that has a view of the pool room and the lounge, making your way into the kitchen, there will then be a back room in here that seems to come to an end, but you may notice an open ventilation duct in the corner here on the ceiling. Hop and or boost up through here and it will drop down into one of the bathrooms of the guest suites. Then from here, while we're after the magazine, leave the guest suite and go left through this broad hallway and take the next right towards the area overlooking the pool room. You can then head through this upstairs bar and lounge area, and at the back wall should be the entrance to Sonny DeFalco's room. After you've entered, look to the right and you'll see 2 dance poles with Peak Performance 04 sitting on one of the end tables behind them. The second issue of Peak Performance we're going for is Peak Performance 03. This one is at the Reliant Medical Organics Lab on Beta Turnian 1 in the Beta Turnian system. And if you're looking at the star map, this location is actually pretty far to the right from the Porrima system, and you'll know you found it when you get 3 choices of stars with Beta Turnian being in the middle. Then it's as easy as going to Beta Turnian 1, selecting the lab marker that is there by default, and making your approach on this abandoned Reliant Medical facility that has active defenses at its front entrance and a cuttable wall on the roof. For simplicity's sake, we'll walk through the front door, through the lobby, take the door on the left and follow the corridors, walkways, and stairs on a quite linear path until you reach this large high-ceilinged room that has this overgrown plant chandelier with the greenhouse hab at floor level, which will have a secure access door that is locked with a unpowered button to open it. To restore power, you'll need to go through the maintenance area, which is on the east side of this room, and once you've taken the stairs up about as high as they can go, you should find the master switch to power up the whole gosh dang place. And firing this up will also open up all of the secure access doors of the facility, so you can take the quick route back down to this central chamber, enter the circular greenhouse of Reliant Medical Organics Lab, and find Peak Performance sitting on top of the circular table behind the science crate. Third we go for is Peak Performance 01, and this is in the station known as the Eye, orbiting planet Jemison in the Alpha Centauri system. This becomes accessible once you've gone a little ways into the main quest, and after starting the one called Into the Unknown, where you must go up to the Eye and speak to Vladimir. After you've docked with the Eye, go straight ahead, past the outer ring, and then take a right to the area labeled Facilities F01. The first door in here will lead into the physical training room, no doubt how Vladimir stays so jacked all the time, and appropriately, off to the left next to the water dispenser, atop a red cloth, you should find Peak Performance 01. The 4th magazine we're after is Peak Performance 05. This one is found on the station known as the Key, which is orbiting Suvorov in the Krix system and is the headquarters of the Crimson Fleet. So to gain access, you will need to at least get your foot in the door when it comes to meeting the Crimson Fleet, which would be late into the quest for them called Rook Meets King, where Neva gives you the tour of the place. After you've gone from the docking area into the Reckoner's core, to the left of the pool table, you'll find the gym, and next to the dumbbells on this metal metal shelf, you should spot Peak Performance 05. The fifth of the magazines we're going to pick up is Peak Performance 02. Now this can be found at the procedural point of interest known as Deserted UC Listening Post, which shows as a small structure built into a rocky cliff with a small radar dish on top. But this location can also be forced at the Ilios Retreat on Ixil 2 in the Ixil system. Whether you decide to trigger the quest or not, through the forest and hills to the east of the Ilios Retreat will be a location just named Abandoned Outpost, but it is a carbon copy of the Deserted UC Listening Post and therefore also has the magazine inside. So no matter if you're in the procedural location or not, if you head inside and then go down the ramp past the waiting room into a storage area, there will be a viewing room here that you can start walking towards through the catwalks, accessible through the dining area, and by taking the next door nearby you'll be inside of this viewing room where straight ahead you should find the magazine on top of the desk. And keep in mind that there is a New Atlantean magazine at Ilios Retreat as well. So, do you feel like your performance has peaked, or do you want more magazines? Because I got you covered there. And you can find links to the guides to the other magazine sets in the description or at the end card of this video, as well as a New Game Plus Quick Start Guide and some other goodies. If you found this useful, entertaining, or both, please do whatever you see fit to show that. And if you feel like supporting these no-nonsense guides that I like to do, you can join the stupendous people on screen now, including Wasteland Legends, Sven, and Rose. I've been Kato Genesis. Thank you so very much for watching, and I hope to see you among the stars.